Welcome back, we're to Warcraft. This is Thomas with the WoW Dungeon, and in this video I'm going to be continuing the last part of my two-part series for a Retribution Paladin. This is a kiting guide, and in this part of the kiting guide I'm going to be showing the duels that I did versus a Paladin. And I'm going to be going over step by step kind of what I'm doing, what I'm looking out for in those split seconds and decisions, and also looking over the video and seeing what I could do better for next time. So let's get right into it. Alright, so for this duel I start off by using my concussive shot, and then I glaive toss into his Hand of Freedom, which I shouldn't do. I should always dispel first. I use the knockoff after he pops off both of his cooldowns, explosive trap, so I can get away. I said that he has 10 seconds left, so I just run away and wait out the duration of his big cooldowns. In the meantime, I try to get a little small heal by camouflaging myself, and then I start my DPS rotation again. I slow him down. He Hands of Freedoms, then I use my trinket, pop. I then freeze him, try to get away from him. As I start to open up, I get the sniper training back up, try to get as much damage as I can in, go for the kill, and he bubbles. Once he bubbles, I know I have about 8 seconds to kind of do whatever I want and get away from him because he's going to cast Flash of Light. So I get away, disengage away, start doing my damage again. As he's coming, pops Hand of Freedom. I don't really need to dispel it, so I try to Binding Shot. The Binding Shot doesn't work through it, but he does get hit by an explosive trap. After that, I do sit into a full Hodge. However, I have Roar of Sacrifice up, and he does not have any cooldown, so he's not going to do a lot of damage, and then that is enough to give me the kill. In this match, this was very well played. Paladin made a lot of mistakes, and I capitalized on them, and it turned out Alright, in this duel I agreed not to use my explosive trap to knock him off any ridiculous ledges. So in this duel, I'll be kind of doing like a mock arena and not using the environment to my full advantage. So in this duel, we start off a little more close quarters. I open with a concussive shot into a binding shot. He pops his cooldowns immediately, which causes me to deterrent since I have nowhere to go. He sits the majority duration of the entire CC chain, of the trap, and then I start going into my DPS rotation. I get away out of the trinket just because I'm like, he has no cooldowns, I might as well just start kiting him and further the gap. He puts on his Divine Protection, so my chimeras are not doing as much damage, so I'm just using aim shots into him. Then I have the kill shot. He realizes he's going to go down, so he bubbles. He's not going to be able to do enough damage for quite some time. I realize that he's line of sighting me, so unknowingly I accidentally used my counter shot, thinking that it wouldn't work since he was behind a pillar, but I guess it could go through. So I go in, try to press in. He starts trying to do damage to me at close quarters. I want to lead him away from this area, so I disengage, start having him chase me so that way he can get away from the pillars. I know that I don't have that much more time in order to kill him. As he's getting closer, I try to use a freezing trap, but then it just like shoots way off into the sky, if you saw that. And then as he's doing this, he takes the explosive trap pretty hard. It sends him back, so he uses the opportunity to line of sight me again and to start getting his health back. Now, as you'll notice, his line of sight will hurt the hunter way more than it'll hurt the paladin, so make sure that you find some way to keep the paladin from line of sighting you. I disengage again because I get worried, or deterrence again because I get worried, which I probably shouldn't have done. I probably should have saved this last deterrence. But I trap him, try to get some health back with my camouflage, use my aim shot into a trinket, and I try to run away. As I'm about to set up and start really doing some damage on him, he gets his cooldowns back. I dispel Hand of Protection to stop him from preventing my damage, but then he gets his cooldowns back. I don't have any way to get out of it, and I die. This was probably the best duel that we had in a little bit. There was a lot of mistakes made, but you could see how it was kind of a back and forth. Sometimes he'd get me in a troublesome spot, and sometimes I'd get him in a troublesome spot, and we just kept going back and forth. I think a couple things that I could work on, obviously not shoot freezing traps into the sky, but also to make sure that I don't concussive into Hand of Freedom, and to make sure that I immediately dispel it as soon as I can, along with immediately dispelling the Paladin as soon as he pops his Avenging Wrath and Holy Avenger, so that way I can sit him into a full CC rather than a reduced one, which I think is 25%, even though the tooltip says 50%. Alright, so hopefully you enjoyed those duels and the information provided in this mini-series. I'm hoping that from this you can kind of see what Paladins can do to really make some mistakes during some duels or during encounters, and also for you to be able to think and strategize versus those Ret Paladins, so that way you can come out on top, or be able to annoy and piss him off enough that you have your friends come in and just wreck him and his team. So again, if you like the format of this series, or if you have any comments on how I can improve it, or have suggestions on some content that I could also do, please feel free to provide them. They really help me improve the quality of these videos and the presentation. Up until then, I'll see you guys next time on my next installation, which will be on Rogues. And have a Merry Christmas and have a Happy New Year. See you next time.